Let me ask you something straight. When's the last time you felt good, for real? Not distracted, not numbed, not scrolling your way through the day pretending things are fine. I mean deep in your body good. Present, grateful, alive. If you had to think about it for more than 5 seconds. That's a problem, and it's not your fault. We've been conditioned to live in crisis mode. Wake up, check the news, stress out, overwork, overthink, crash, repeat. You were never taught how to regulate your own emotions, how to process pain, how to train your brain to focus on what's right instead of what's wrong. But here's the truth. Happiness isn't luck. Peace isn't passive. Confidence isn't random. They're all skills. Trainable, learnable, practiced. And it starts with one of the most overlooked weapons in personal transformation, positive psychology. And no, this isn't toxic positivity. This isn't pretending everything's fine when it's not. This is the science-backed truth that your focus creates your reality. That your brain is a pattern machine, and most of us are letting it run wild on default settings installed by fear, trauma, and years of survival mode. Positive psychology isn't about lying to yourself. It's about finally telling yourself the whole truth. The part of the story where you've survived things people don't even know about. The part of the story where your best days are still ahead of you. The part of the story where you take your power back from people and patterns that don't deserve to hold it anymore. You want change? You start with focus. Because whatever you focus on, grows. If you wake up every day thinking about what's wrong, what's missing, who hurt you, what's not enough, you're planting seeds of suffering. Your brain's like a GPS. It follows directions. So if your internal dialogue is, I'm behind, I always mess this up, I'll never get out of this, you're giving your life instructions to stay stuck. Positive psychology flips that script. Not with fairy dust. With discipline. You train your brain to see what's right, what's working, what's growing. You build a habit of catching beauty, noticing wins, celebrating effort, not just outcomes. That's not weakness. That's mental conditioning. Think of it like going to the gym, but for your perspective. And the results? They're massive. More energy, more resilience, better decisions, deeper relationships. You stop chasing happiness and start generating it. You stop waiting for the world to give you a break and start becoming the kind of person who creates peace on purpose. I started this practice at my lowest point. Broke, burnt out, bitter. I didn't believe in mindset. I thought all that positive thinking stuff was fake. But I was desperate, so I tried it. And I'm not talking about standing in the mirror shouting affirmations you don't believe. I'm talking about tiny, powerful shifts. First thing every morning, I forced myself to write down 3 things I appreciated. Some days it was dumb stuff. My coffee, my playlist, clean socks, but it got me out of my head. Then I'd write 1 thing I was proud of from the day before. Even if it was small, I didn't quit. I made that call. I showed up even when I wanted to hide. That was my anchor. That was my starting point. After a week, I was thinking clearer. After a month, I was showing up differently. After 6 months, I didn't recognize myself in the best way. And it wasn't because the world changed. It was because I did. I stopped expecting peace to find me. I started building it, brick by brick, thought by thought, day by day. That's what positive psychology teaches you. That your mind isn't your enemy. It's your engine, but only if you take the wheel. And no, it's not about being positive all the time. It's about being powerful enough to choose what lens you're looking through. You can still feel grief, anger, frustration. You're human, but even in pain, you can choose presence. Even in struggle, you can find meaning. Even in chaos, you can center yourself with one powerful thought. I'm still here. I'm still becoming. That shift alone will change your life. Because when you change the story you tell yourself, you change the way you show up. And when you change the way you show up, the world starts to respond differently. Not overnight, but steadily, authentically, deeply. Because real growth isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the moment you catch yourself choosing peace instead of panic, gratitude instead of gossip, courage instead of comfort. And that's when you realize you're not broken. You were just never taught how to lead your own mind. Until now. In the next part, I'll walk you through the daily habits, the practical exercises, and the science-backed strategies you can use to rewire your brain and master the mental habits that drive long-term happiness and success. But for now, just know this. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the author. And this is the chapter where everything starts to shift. Let's get into the real work. Because hearing something inspiring is nice, but building something real? That's power. That's what we're here for. If part 1 cracked the window open, this is the part where we walk through the door and actually build the system. The mindset, the life. Positive psychology isn't a vibe. It's a blueprint, a method backed by science, tested in real life, designed to rewire how your brain sees the world, and how you show up inside it. So how do you live it? It starts with 3 core practices: gratitude, reframing, and intentional action. Do them every day and you won't just feel better. You'll become better. Let's start with gratitude. Yeah, the one you've heard about 1,000 times, but probably haven't built into your nervous system yet. Gratitude isn't a trend, it's biological. When you activate it consistently, you lower stress, increase resilience, and unlock creativity. It's like tuning your brain into a frequency that lets you spot solutions where other people only see problems. The practice is simple. Every morning, before you touch your phone, write down 3 things you're grateful for, but make it specific, not my family or my job, too vague. Instead, go deep. I'm grateful for the quiet 10 minutes I had before everyone woke up. I'm grateful for the call with my friend that reminded me who I am. I'm grateful I made it through yesterday without quitting. Specificity makes it real, and when it's real, your brain starts looking for more of it, automatically. You prime your mind to scan for good, and over time, you stop waiting for joy and start generating it. Next, reframing. This one's a game changer. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can control the story you tell yourself about them. That's the difference between people who spiral when life hits and those who rise. Reframing is the art of taking a negative thought, flipping it on its head, and finding a version of it that gives you power instead of pain. Got rejected? Instead of, I'm not good enough, try, that wasn't my door, and now I have proof I'm in motion. Messed up in a meeting? Instead of, I embarrassed myself, try, now I know what I need to work on, and next time, I'll be sharper. It's not delusion, it's direction. You train your brain to find meaning, not just emotion, because pain is guaranteed, but suffering? That's optional. Reframing puts you back in the driver's seat. Then comes intentional action. This is where most people get stuck. They feel better for a moment, but they don't move. Positive psychology without action is just a mood booster. You want real change? You've got to do something with it. Intentional action means making one decision every day that aligns with your growth. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be on purpose. Call someone you've been avoiding. Submit that application. Say no to something that drains you. Spend 30 minutes on your idea instead of 3 hours numbing out. That's how confidence is built. Not by waiting for clarity, but by taking action while you're still uncertain. You're not faking it. You're forming it, one representative at a time. Now, let's talk obstacles. Because they're coming. Resistance will show up the moment you decide to rise. Old thoughts will come crawling back. You'll hear the voice. This won't last. Who do you think you are? This is pointless. Expect it, welcome it, and then override it. Not by arguing, but by acting anyway. The antidote to doubt is motion. You train yourself to keep going even when it doesn't feel like it's working, because it is. That's neuroplasticity. That's rewiring. That's the silent work that no one claps for, but that changes everything. And here's what no one tells you. Positivity isn't always pretty. Sometimes, choosing to be optimistic is the most rebellious act you can take. In a world that profits from your fear, your stress, your self-doubt, being grateful, focused, and forward-thinking is a revolution. So own it. Don't whisper it. Don't downplay it. Live it loud. You don't have to be fake. You just have to be firm. I'm building something better, and I don't need your permission to believe that. So what does this look like in the real world? It looks like the single mom who starts her day with 2 minutes of breathing instead of panic. The burned-out executive who reframes a tough week into fuel for reinvention. The broke student who decides to be the first in their family to break the cycle and uses gratitude, vision, and small consistent action to pull it off. That's what this is. Not some elite theory. Not self-help hype. It's applied power. And the best part? It's already inside you. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to wait for a better job, a better partner, a better past. You've got everything you need, right now, to choose a better story. Positive psychology doesn't add anything fake to your life. It helps you strip away the lies that kept you small. You are not helpless. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are ready. This is your moment. Not a someday thing. Not a maybe thing. This is now. You get to decide. You get to lead your mind. You get to become someone new, not by force, but by focus. So here's the daily plan. 3 gratitudes. 1 reframed thought. 1 intentional action. 5 minutes. Every day. No excuses. No breaks. No waiting. And I promise you, in 30 days, you won't just feel different. You'll be different. You'll move different. Speak different. Choose different. Because the real power of positive psychology isn't about feeling better for a moment. It's about becoming better for a lifetime.